Okay, hi you guys. So today I'm going to show you how to write a function that generates all anagrams of a given word. So we're going to call this function genAnagram, and it stands for generateAnagram. And it's going to take a word and generate all the anagrams from that word. So the first way we're going to write it, we're going to have an array outside here called anagrams, and we're going to populate this array. So at the end, when we call this function with a word, let's do ABC, and we can console log anagrams, and it's going to show us all the anagrams of ABC. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is loop through our word, iterate through each letter. So 0, and line, plus plus. So for each letter, what we want to do is we want to add it to a variable called anagrams that we're going to keep track of the current anagram. So to do that, we're going to have a second parameter here called anagram, and we're going to initialize that to the empty string. And then here we're going to concat the current letter to anagram. So plus equals, yes, okay, word at our current index. And so then next what we're going to do is we're going to recurse over our function. So anagram is going to keep track of the current anagram, and we're going to pass in the word without the current letter that we are using in anagram. So we're going to call generateAnagrams, and we're going to pass in the word without the current letter at the current index. So to do that, we're going to slice our word. So word.slice, and we're going to slice out that current index. And we can do that by going 0 to I, because I is not going to be included. And slice at 0, 0. So if you slice from 0, 0, it is still going to include 0. So, I mean, it's not going to include 0. So it's going to be the empty string. So that works out for 0. And then we're going to concat that to word.slice I plus 1 to the end, so we don't need to pass in a second parameter. So then we want to pass in the current anagram. There we go. So what this is going to do is it's going to take the current letter, take that out, and recurse, and it's going to try all combinations of that letter all the way until when we're going to have a base case here. So for our base case, we're going to check if the word is empty, because once we've used up all the letters of the word, then our anagram is now an anagram of our original word. So if word is empty, it does not exist anymore, then we're going to go anagrams dot push our current anagram, and then we're going to return. Okay, so now when it comes back to us, that means we've tried all combinations. Now we want to pop off that last letter so that we can try the next letter in that place instead. So you can see for ABC, for example, it's going to go A, B, C, and now word is empty, it's going to push that into anagrams, and then it's going to return to here where our current anagram is ABC. We're going to pop off C, and then we're going to keep going. But in this case, there is no letter after C, so it's going to end the for loop and go back to where our string was AB. So then we want to pop off B and try the next letter, which is going to be C. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to set anagram, and we're going to reset it to anagram dot slice. We're going to slice out that last letter. Okay, and because it's not an array, so we can't use pop, and strings are not, you can't mutate strings. So we're going to slice from 0 to anagram.length minus 1, which is the last letter. And we're not going to include. Okay, so now after we've done that, let's test our function. Save and run. And we can see that indeed it works. However, there is a small problem here, because now let's say, for example, we have AA. What do you expect it to return, right? Basically, we want to just see AA, but in this case, it's going to give us back a duplicate because we're not detecting duplicates. So there's an easy solution to that. All we have to do is here we can create a new set from anagrams. So we're going to use ES6 set object and the spread operator to expand that out, and then save, and you can see that gets rid of our duplicates. Alright, so now we're just going to refactor our code in our function so that the function itself doesn't just populate an array outside of this function. It's going to actually just give us back that array. And it's going to be easy to do that. We're just going to add a third parameter here, and we're going to call it anagrams, and we're going to initialize that to an empty array. So we can get rid of that. And then all we have to do here is also add that third parameter, anagrams, and then out here we're going to return anagrams, except that we want to return this instead to get rid of duplicates. And there we go. So now we can console log this instead, save, and we can see that that works. And we can try out a couple different things. And we see that it works. So this function is not the most efficient. If you can see, if we tried one more character, it might take a bit longer. Okay. So you can see that it's still working just fine. Oh, but that took a bit longer, so I'm not going to try another character because it might take too long. So the time complexity here, I'm going to say, so because every single time, so we're iterating through, so that's one loop, that's one n, we're going through each letter, but for each letter we are also going through the rest of the array. And so the time complexity here is going to be O of n times n factorial, because each time we're going through, we're getting rid of one letter, and then we keep multiplying through. So this is just going to be quadratic. The space complexity, complexity is going to be, well, we can calculate how many number of anagrams, there are going to be total by taking the total number of letters and taking a factorial on that. So it's n factorial. So the space complexity is factorial. Okay. So now I am going to, let's see, what else can we do with this? So we can do, if you wanted to, for instance, just have our function return a random anagram, we can just do this. Let's unique equals, and I'm going to move this up. Okay, and then I'm going to return unique, and I'm going to give it a random index. So to do that, I'm going to say mat.random, and mat.random gives us a decimal between 0 and 1, and I'm going to multiply that by unique.length, which is the length of our array, and then I'm going to floor this, math.floor, and that should do it. So that's going to give us a random index anywhere from 0 to the length of the array minus 1 because we're flooring it. And we can try that out. So I will do genAnagrams. Okay, select log, genAnagrams, and I'm going to put in some ABC. Okay, build it, and you can see, there we go. It gives us just one random one back. Now I can build it again, and we can see that it does change. We can give it more letters, and you can see it still works. There we go. Okay, so now what if you wanted to get all substrings instead of just anagrams that are the length of the word? What if you want all substrings of that word as well? Okay, well, that's not too difficult. All we have to do then is make a small change. So I'm gonna put this back. I'll keep this and do, there we go, return unique. That will give us back what we wanted before. Okay, all anagrams. And then the only change we need to make is at the top we are going to if anagram is not empty, then we're going to do anagrams.push anagram. So we're basically moving this line up there. And then if the word is empty, then we're just going to return. So we can try that out. I'm going to try it out with just ABC, and you can see that it indeed does return to us all of the substrings as well. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to move this down, back down. Let's see, what else can we do? Okay, well, at this current state, if I put in lowercase a, it is not going to distinguish these two as different. So if I run our code, it's going to show us duplicates. If we want to get rid of that, all we have to do is at top we can say word is equal to word dot to uppercase. Okay, we can save, and now we can see it does get rid of the duplicates, and these two, lowercase and uppercase a, are now treated as equal. Let's see. So now, if we can do something where if we give our function a second parameter here, let's say 2, it will only give us back strings that, substrings that are length of 2. We can do that by creating a second parameter called n that we can initialize to null. And so it's an optional parameter. If we pass in nothing, then it will just give us back everything like normal. But if we pass in a number, then it's only going to give us back substrings of length 2. So I have to modify right here. Also pass in n. Okay. And then at the, what we're going to do here now is we are going to loop through here, loop through unique. And we are also going to have a hash where we're going to store kind of a histogram of everything we've seen, where the key is going to be the length of the word or anagram. So we're going to loop through unique. I is less than unique dot line I plus plus. Okay, and basically we're gonna reuse our variable anagram that's not being used. So I'm going to say anagram is our current anagram that we're looking at inside unique is going to be unique at index 5. And I'm going to check to see if we have seen the length of this inside the hash yet. So I'm going to store, well, I'm going to have another variable called len for length. And I'm going to set that equal to anagram.length. And I'm going to check if we've seen, because len is the length of the anagram is going to be our key. If we haven't seen len in hash yet, then we're going to store it. So we're going to do hash at len. And we're going to set it equal to that anagram, but inside of an array. So we're going to initialize an array with one element, which is the current anagram. Otherwise, if we do see that property, if there are anagrams of that length that's already inside the hash, then we're just going to go hash dot len, which is going to be an array, dot push anagram. Okay, save, and then here, instead of returning unique, we're going to check if null, if n is equal to null, then we are going to return the entire array, the entire set of unique anagrams. Otherwise, we are going to return hash at n. Okay, that should work. So now let's test it out. Save, build. Okay, and that seems to work. So let's try for length 3. Good. And then if we completely get rid of that, it gives us everything. Try 1. And that works too. If we do anything less, like, or more, if we do something like 0, it should give us undefined. And yes, it does. Perfect. Okay, so that's it. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or corrections if I made any errors. I would love to know, or if you have your own implementation of this. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Okay, bye.